Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. In this video, I want to talk about GitHub Copilot. So first I want to explain what it is, and then I talk about how you can install it on your computer, and after that I will give a brief introduction on how you can use it in Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So let's start. So first of all, a GitHub Copilot is an AI-paired programmer and copilot. The reason that they call it AI-paired programmer or copilot is that it cannot act without the help of the developer. In other words, this tool only can work at the moment when a developer is programming. So the main actor in the programming still is the developer and not the AI. So that's why they call it a copilot. GitHub Copilot models, they are trained over open source GitHub code. But the problem is that most code on GitHub is, they are pretty old based on the software standards. And most of the codes on GitHub, they are written by average programmers. And that's why the quality of the codes that GitHub Copilot creates is not the best. However, GitHub Copilot is in early stages, and of course in future it would be trained more, and based on what we are using at the moment, it can learn more and it can be more efficient. So how we can install GitHub Copilot? If you are a student or if you are a teacher, then you can access GitHub Copilot for free. In other words, if you work in an education system, you can access GitHub Copilot for free. You can go to education.github.com/students. You would see a page like this, and then you can click on the Get Benefits for Students. So if you do not have a GitHub account, you can create an account, and then you would upload your student ID, and you want to make sure you use your student email address. Then GitHub would verify your account and get back to you. If you are a teacher, the process is the same. The only difference is that when you want to go to the education website, you just instead of a student, you put teachers here, and then you, instead of a student ID, you put a photo of your staff ID card. So the thing is that when we are using our ID card for either students or teachers, the ID should have expiry date on it. If it doesn't, then GitHub doesn't verify it. So if your ID doesn't have a expiry date on it, then you can ask the education system that you are part of to give you a letter that specifies when did you start your study or your work there, and when it's going to be finished. If you are a student, if you are a staff, it's good to have a letter that shows that you are a full-time staff, so that it can verify that you have ongoing roles. A student or staff, you can just click on the links that I uploaded, and it brings you to this, or either you can just click on this link that I will put underneath the video, and then it would explains how you can use it. So there is a website that specifies that if you are a teacher or a student, then you put your email address. Then you can either upload your ID, a photo of your ID, or you can just turn on your camera and take a photo of the proof of your academic status. And then you fill some forms like what's your education or school's name, and then how you want to use GitHub, and then you can submit your information, and then you receive an email confirming your account. Then if you are not a student or a teacher, unfortunately we have to pay for GitHub Copilot. So it has around 60 days of free trial, so you can log into their website and use it for 60 days as a free trial. If you are going to use it for your company, for your industry, you can go to this link, github.com features Copilot, and join the waiting list, so that when the industrial version of the Copilot is released, your company would be able to use. If you are using Copilot on your own without any student or being part of the education system, then you can go to github.com features Copilot and then click on start my free trial. So then in that case you create a username and password, sign up in GitHub, in other words, if you haven't, and then after 60 days you need to pay as you use GitHub Copilot. And then for paid version, right now the price is like this. So you have yearly plan of $100 per year, or monthly plan of $10 per month. So having GitHub Copilot as paid version is annoying for some software developers. The reason is because GitHub Copilot was trained on open codes that software developers shared on GitHub themselves. And now this product sort of was trained based on the free codes that software developers provided. And now this product wants to charge them for the service. So some software developers are not happy with that. If you go to the review of the GitHub Copilot, you can see many of the developers, they are happy with the performance of the GitHub Copilot. However, most of them are not happy with the fact that they need to pay to use it. You can install it on right now 4 products: Visual Studio, NeoVim, Visual Studio Code, and JetBrains IDE. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use it on Visual Studio Code. So when you want to install GitHub Copilot, the first thing you want to know is that you want to have an account for GitHub Copilot. Your account should be verified. So that means you should have the confirmation from GitHub that you can use the product. If you want to use it on Visual Studio Code, so definitely you need to install Visual Studio Code. To install it, you can go to this page. I'm going to put it underneath the video. So here, download Visual Studio Code if you do not have it. So to install GitHub Copilot on Visual Studio is very easy. When you install Visual Studio Code, if you do not have it, then you go to the Visual Studio Code extensions and install GitHub Copilot extension. So you follow this instruction and install it. Your account should be verified to be able to link your GitHub account to GitHub Copilot on Visual Studio Code. So you can follow this instruction to learn more about it. And if you want me to create another video and show you how you can install the extension on Visual Studio Code, then you can let me know in the comments below. When you install GitHub Copilot on Visual Studio, so usually the extension is similar to this. We created this extension and everything is working well. So now I want to start using GitHub Copilot. I use Jupyter Notebook. Let's say I want to get data from a website and then save it into a CSV file. Here, first of all, when we are using GitHub Copilot, it's good to have a clear command so that it knows what we are going to do with our code, what's the purpose of our code. For example, for me, I want to get data. So as you can see, as soon as I put on my command, the GitHub Copilot comes up with the suggestions. So this grayish color, that's the code that was suggested by GitHub Copilot. If I just press tab, that would be converted into a code. So it just asked me to convert, to import these libraries. So for now, I want to add another command, and I want to say And so I wanted to say and save it to the as a CSV file. So as you can see, GitHub Copilot just came up with a suggestion that you can save it as a CSV file. This is exactly what I wanted to do. So I press tab, and then I start importing the packages I need. So import. So as you can see, it comes up with the suggestions. So tab, import NumPy. I don't think I need NumPy, or I don't need matplotlib. I just want to collect the data from this file. So probably I need request, and then I want a CSV. So as you can see, as soon as I go to the next line, it gives me a suggestion about get the URL by request and put it in R. It suggests to save it as a CSV file. So if I run, it runs, and then I can say just print the first 5 rows of the data. So it suggested itself. Of course, it creates a data frame for me, and then it just types the first 5 rows of my data. So as you can see, this is quite cool. Just suggests some stuff that makes programming life easier. However, sometimes it gives suggestions that doesn't make sense. For example, for my work, I really didn't want to visualize anything, but it was suggesting like to import matplotlib. Usually it suggests a lot on importing packages for Python. And another thing is that so some people, they say GitHub Copilot is good, but it's not very good for beginner programmers, because it gives them lots of suggestions, and sometimes the suggestions are not the best, and because the beginner programmers are not very advanced, so it's not easy to say which programming suggestion is good or not. And another thing is it doesn't help them to learn programming, because it just comes up with suggestions, whereas if a programmer wants to do this by themselves, then they have to come up with the solutions and think outside of the box and read about this stuff themselves without following code that is generated for them. So I hope you like this video. Thank you, and see you soon.